Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Noelle and I review and unbox subscription boxes here on my channel, and today I have another book subscription to share with you. This is not one that is sent to me for review. This is one that I am a subscriber of. I usually do a 3-month at a time subscription to the adult selection from Once Upon a Book Club. This is actually their January box. Now it always comes in this pink box that is designed to look like a book. I believe that the young adult boxes still come in green. I think they have a middle grader one that comes in maybe orange. I'm not totally sure. They do a lot of limited edition and holiday boxes as well, but lately I've just been sticking to the monthly ones. What I do really like about it is that it is very easy to read the hints for the upcoming novel, and then I can decide if I may want to skip it if for some reason it sort of suggests that it's a book that's not in one of the genres that I really prefer. So if it's kind of like chick lit or a little bit more of a romance, sometimes I'll skip it. This one was definitely on the lighter side for the January box, but I do kind of like Regency era stuff. I think it's fun. And I also like historical fiction, so I thought there might be an element of that in there. And I was just really surprised when this box showed up because I don't have another one of their boxes to compare it to for you, but it's much bigger than usual. Now the box itself is usually $49.99. Not usually, it is. That's the cost. It does include the shipping for you. I do have a code for you, like I said. It's Noel10. That'll save you 10% on your purchase, and I'll leave a link for you in the description box below as well. And again, what I get out of that is I am able to use some referral credit to continue to stay subscribed to this subscription. So I will say I have been with this box for quite a while, and I do really think that they have gotten much better in terms of the quality of the gifts. They have a lot of them made for the box. Their packaging is always beautiful. There's usually like 3 to 5 gifts that are included in the box that go along with certain passages within. So they really did some gorgeous packaging for this one. So I'm going to put it up here, but it is kind of bigger. So some other things that always come in the box are a quote card. This one says, "You simply have to believe that the future is there, just waiting for you to make it your own." And the book was The Diamond of London. So they, in their hints, will just give the box a name that kind of alludes to the actual title. Which was Defying the Ton, which if you're like a Bridgerton fan, that signaled to you the kind of era of it. But it was about this, independent woman kind of thing in a time where it was hard to be an independent woman. So they always come with this sort of guide, and there's usually an author's interview, which is kind of fun. I don't always read that. There's discussion questions if you are using it as an actual book club template. And they also tell you that how many gifts there are and what pages they are on. They have a pretty active Facebook group. Sometimes I'll go into the Facebook group not for spoilers so much as to figure out some of the gifts, because sometimes they have instructions and labels and sometimes they don't. That was the case with one of the gifts in this box, so I will tell you more about that later. We also always get a little bookmark as well as that quote card. And in this case, it was really nice because they did a special limited edition of the book itself, and we also got a signed book plate. So I like all those special touches, those little extras. Sometimes in addition to the more tangible gifts, there will be like, a paper gift, if they have something about like a photograph or a newspaper clipping in the story. Sometimes that will be tucked directly into the book, but I really like that now that doesn't necessarily count as one of your kind of major gifts, one of your 3 to 5. And they really have upped the value, I think, in my personal opinion, of the items, and I definitely felt that in this case. So let me go ahead and show you the gorgeous edition. It's like very square on the binding, so it does have this nice jacket cover, and then it has these beautiful images on the interior. But what I thought was, when you take the jacket cover off, this is what's beautiful. It just looks like a classic with this pretty linen finish and the silver, and then it has a quote on the back. I just thought it was really, really pretty. And then look at the edging. Isn't that great? The purple and the green together. So I'm one of those people that likes to keep my books nice, so I will probably always have it live in the jacket, but I just thought it was really cool that they had this edition made for us. So again, the author is Andrea Penrose, and then let me read you the little blurb on the jacket, and then we'll read the 4 passages that go along with the 4 gifts, and I might slip into a bit of an English accent, so forgive me if you can. Okay, so it says, "Even with her privileged life, Lady Hester Stanhope knows that claiming the adventurous life she truly wants will not be easy, thanks to her eccentric father's stifling grip. With the help of her renowned statesman uncle, William Pitt the Younger, she takes on the glittering, treacherous heights of London society. Her formidable intelligence, outspoken opinions, and headstrong determination gained the favor of the Beau Monde's leading tastemaker, Beau Brummel, and she quickly learns to bend the rules of the ton to her own advantage. And as her uncle's hostess, she astutely uses her skills to preside over and give advice to the most influential figures of her day, rising to a position unequaled in society. But when it comes to holy matrimony, Hester will settle for no less than a passionate match of equals, a search marked by challenges and heartbreak. Her affair with a charismatic naval officer tempts her with forbidden pleasures, even as it threatens her reputation. Her love for a sophisticated, brilliant diplomat offers the marriage of her dreams and unsuspected betrayal. And as England is plunged into war, Hester's world changes forever, causing her to find courage and strength amid loss, chart a completely unexpected future, and make a glorious legacy forever hers. So doesn't that sound good? I mean, so even though these sort of like romantic novels aren't necessarily my thing, I think I like Regency era shows and movies more than I do necessarily these kinds of novels. A lot of the like saucy spiciness was not as, you know, not as overt as it is in, say, Bridgerton, but I think if you like Bridgerton, you might like this. A lot of people found this book a little bit slow, but I will say I didn't have that hard of a time getting through it. It felt a little bit long sometimes. Like every time there was someone introduced, I was like, is this gonna be the guy for her? And it was like, of course it's not, because we still have a whole bunch of pages to go. But I thought the gifts this time around were really, really solid. So let's go ahead and look at the first one. Look at this box, you guys. This is for page 21. Isn't that amazing with the bridge, the famous bridge? So let me go ahead and find page 21. So right off the bat, I thought this was a really cool one. So this is what it looks like when you come across a page that has a sticky note that tells you. Now, I read this passage on 21, and I think that I actually want to start a page earlier. I think that makes more sense for the gift. So she is being taught by Brummel how to sort of elevate herself in society by making herself more interesting. So let's see if I can figure it out. Let's see if I can figure out where this happens. Okay, the glass he had given me was a stemmed wine glass, but rather than rise in a tall conical flute, as was the current fashion, it was shaped like a shallow bowl, the wine a pool of shimmering deep red. Brummel reached out and adjusted the angle of my elbow. Grace, Lady Hester, you must hold it with grace. He gave a tiny wince, and an air of confidence. He plucked the glass from me and assumed a pose, like so. How did a mere mortal contrive to appear so elegant and assured? He looked like one of those classical marble sculptures in the British Museum come to life. Only one tiny flaw, a small bump betraying a broken nose from some past mishap, kept him from appearing a paragon of heavenly perfection. I'm afraid I don't possess the art of making myself look like a Greek god or goddess. Then pay attention and learn it. Brummel softened the retort with a quick smile. Attitude is everything. Use it as armor. It took me a moment to grasp the metaphorical message of his statement. Armor was forged to protect a person's vulnerable parts. He took hold of my right hand, curled my fingers around the stem, and slid them down to within an inch of the base. Relax, he encouraged, once again positioning my elbow just so. Now thrust your hip out just a touch. A smile blossomed on his lips as he stepped back and observed me. However, a critical squint quickly chased it away. It's a decent beginning, but you have much to learn. Why this particular glass? I responded. Because it is distinctive, he shot back. It is called a coupe, and it is the favored shape for champagne in France, while we here in Britain prefer the flute. Yet most wealthy and fashionable households possess them, so you may request your libation to be served in one. Brummel paused. More importantly, it has a story. Legend has it that the shape is based on the left breast of Madame de Pompadour, mistress to the French King Louis XV, an airy wave, though others claim it was the breast of Marie Antoinette. What matters is you will have a titillating response to give when someone asks, and it will make you interesting. I lifted the glass a little higher, studying the way the candlelight danced around its curve. From now on, at fashionable gatherings such as this one, you will drink nothing but port out of a coupe. The fact that you are drinking forbidden libation out of a slightly scandalous glass will make you distinctive. More importantly, it makes you intriguing, he added, glancing around the room. As you pointed out, most people are bores. So, what did we get? I promise, the passages aren't all that long, but it had some nice foam. Indeed, my friends, we got some coupe glasses, and it did have a nice little label. So there is a set of 2. I am hoping that these are something that you can get in the Once Upon a Book Club shop, because a set of 4 would be gorgeous. But look how pretty these are. I love colored glass in general, but these are beautiful big coupes. You could actually put a martini in here, honestly. Usually Marie Antoinette glasses are very, very small. So I always think that origin story is, I'm like, well, she had very squished little breasts, if that is what they were based on. But let me see if I can pull them out. So we do have a nice foam insert in the box so that you can keep them safe. I'll probably put them on my wine rack because they can hang upside down. But I just thought these were beautiful, and I love the fluting on them. I thought this was such a nice gift for a book box. I thought that was stunning. All right, we have more to read though, so let me go ahead and find page 51. I promise, like I said, it will be shorter passages. Let me see if I can remember. So her family has some honor despite her father being eccentric because of her uncle, but also because they sort of got their wealth from a diamond that was eventually cut down. So she kind of comes to be known by some of her, not suitors, but potentials as Diamond, right? So this is from Tom or Lord Camelford. It says, "A shiver skated across my palm. It is indeed a remarkable ring, Lord Camelford," I responded. "I wasn't just remarking on the ring." He looked up. "Do call me Tom. All my friends do. Among my close acquaintances, I'm known as Hetty." I allowed a small pause, though in truth, it strikes me as a rather drab name. "I agree. It doesn't do you justice," said Camelford. He touched the stone again, as if it were some sort of talisman, and then looked up with a grin. "I prefer to call you Diamond. It's far better reflection of who you are." Diamond. I liked that. Very much, in fact. Because she wears the diamond. It's kind of her like amulet. Helps her feel strong. So we have some diamonds on the outside of this nice box. This was the item that I did have to look up, and it's all purple and green packaging to go along with the edition of the book. We have this little thing poking out the top, some more foam. This is a little cap that came out, and then we had, and this is what I had to find out about online, this beautiful diamond jar that I'm guessing you would just keep sideways, like in your bathroom. And so at first I thought it was perfume, because we have gotten custom made perfumes in this box, but it's kind of got this blue color. I was really glad to see that it didn't leak. I think some people's might have leaked a little bit. It has this little plug here, but it didn't have a sprayer. So I was like, what is this? And I smelled it. Not really a perfume or anything. And then I looked it up online in one of the discussions where there are spoilers, and people, including Once Upon a Book Club, is saying it's a bubble bath, which I think that is like a really lovely thing to have by your bathtub. And then just a nice fun glass to have where I think the facets are kind of pretty. Right? So kind of elegant. That was kind of a neat thing. I'm not a bath girl, but I thought that was a cool gift that went along with the idea. And I'd rather have that than like, you know, fake diamond necklace. So 71 was our next one. So everything ended with 1. It was 51, 71, 21, 51, 71, and then 181, like way at the end. All right, so let's see. On page 71, I have to try to see if I can remember. Oh, okay. So she is, you know, bucking society. So here's a little bag. It just came in a little bag. And she's going to go to basically a boxing match, but she has to disguise herself as a boy, as a young boy. But she's very excited about it. So she says, "Do you always flirt so outrageously?" His look of amusement turned into something more inscrutable. "I do not, Diamond." Before I could react to his statement, he reached into the small sack he was holding and pulled out what looked to be a handful of ashes. "We need to make your face look a little less feminine. Take a seat on the bed." His touch was light as he dabbed and rubbed the substance into my skin, shading my jaw, deepening the shadows under my eyes. "Now hold out your hands." I did as he ordered, giving an inward wince as Camelford worked grit under my nails. Once he finished, he took 2 strips of ragged linen from his pocket and one by one wrapped them around my palms. Crinkling my nose in dismay, they were none too clean, I asked, "What's that for?" "We need to disguise your hands as well as the rest of you. They're too feminine, even with a layer of dirt." He finished tying off the ends. "This will hide enough," he added, stepping back to observe the effect. So we didn't get ashes and we didn't get grit to put under our nails. We got a diamond highlighter, so a little palette. So they have this made by Diamond Designs, which is kind of what they have written on everything. So for the coupe classes too. All right, so we got a diamond highlighter. It does actually have the manufacturing date was back in 2023 in December, and it is good. The expiration is all the way into 2026. So it's a nice little compact of highlighter. I personally don't use highlighter a lot, but I thought this was a pretty one. So let me see if I can open it up, because look at how shimmery and beautiful that is. So I think that's a really usable color for a lot of people. So I thought that was kind of a cool item to have. You could definitely use it on your brow bones, or those of you who are good with your makeup, but you know, it kind of works, and it definitely was a good interpretation of that passage in terms of something you would put on your face, but instead it's to make you look a little bit more feminine instead of the opposite. Then we have one final gift on page 181. I do really think this is a fun edition with all the purple. So 181 was our last one. I'm trying to remember what it was, but I'm still just so impressed by those coupe glasses. Let me see if I can remember. This is why I liked this box so much. So now she is, let's see. She's at someone's library, essentially. Dawn's first light was creeping closer, and yet sleep still eluded me. Tired of my fitful tossing and turning, I threw off the bed covers and slipped my wrapper over my night rail. Leaving my bare feet, I lit a candle and headed down to the library. Surely a room filled with knowledge from the greatest minds of the past and present could offer some answers for the unsettling questions that plagued me. I pushed the oak portal open and filled my lungs with the comforting scent of ink, paper, and leather. But rather than head to the carved acanthus bookshelves, I moved to the bank of windows overlooking the back garden, which allowed a glimpse of the sky above the city's roofs and spires. So we got not a book, but one of my favorite things to get in a box, in a book box, but in a box in general, this nice cement candle. Now it is pink. Now Once Upon a Book Club, besides the box for the adult box, which honestly I feel like the hot pink is more young adult than I would prefer the green boxes, but they like to do a lot of pink. Like pink is like their default color. There's a lot of pink stuff we get, and I really wish they would do more neutral tones like grays, beiges, or just not as much pink, but it's their default. Anyway, we got a candle that says The Secret Library. It's supposed to smell like ink, paper, and leather. It is a 10.6 ounce candle, but it is like one of those concrete ones. So this is kind of a sticker. It wouldn't come off, but it's one of those concrete ones where I think that you could most likely reuse it as a planter. Mine seems to have like a little hairline fracture in it, but I don't mind. But I can tell you right now, this does not smell like ink, paper, and leather. I wish it did, like a little bit more of a masculine scent. It has kind of a rose scent, but like a very light one, not overpowering. It kind of goes with the pink color. But I love getting a nice candle because that's always a good accompaniment to any book. And that was a great, little moment to highlight. Let's actually have a secret password, you guys. So if you're new to my channel or you just watch the book unboxings, when you come across a secret password in one of my videos, you want to enter it along with your contact information in the Google form that is linked for you in the description box below. And then 5 or 6 days into the following month, I use a random bumper picker to select a few winners to receive a mystery box. Sometimes there's sirens, I'm sorry. And that's just my way of saying thank you for watching my videos. So let's have our secret password for today be library, in honor of this candle and in honor of this being a book box and me getting to add a beautiful book to my library. It'll probably go kind of by my Bridgerton books, honestly. And I did actually review the Bridgerton boxes that Once Upon a Book Club did a couple years back. So if you want to see that, I have it as a playlist. But I thought this was a really good box. By the way, for those secret passwords, you have to be 18 years older, you have to have a US or Canadian mailing address, you do have to be subscribed to my channel, and it is not affiliated with YouTube or any of the boxes that I open here on my channel. Just my way of saying thank you again. So you know the secret password now. But I did think, I mean, the value on this box for $50, maybe a little bit less if you go ahead and do a longer subscription up front or you use my code for 10% off. A limited edition or special edition at least book, which I thought was nice. And then the 4 gifts that we got, I thought were really good in value. These alone, I think, are really beautiful. I would be happy to find these in any of my boxes. The bubble bath I probably won't use necessarily, but I thought it was a cool item and a cool interpretation instead of having some like costume jewelry. The highlighter, again, I don't necessarily wear a lot of makeup, but I thought that was a nice interpretation. And then the candle. Wish it wasn't pink, but it's a nice fragrance and I like a nice big candle with my books. So I thought, again, they've really done a good job with the books. So, you know, I would give the story and the book itself, I would give like a pretty high rating. The book in terms of like the content, maybe a 3.5. But the gifts, I would give them like 4 out of 4 this time around. So you guys let me know what you thought in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate your support, all your likes, all your comments, those of you who participate in the secret password giveaways. And I will see you all very, very soon in my next unboxing.